Okay, we are live. We are live. Welcome back. All right, we are down for part 4. And I welcome everybody back to John Q's channel. Good seeing you guys. Anna D, Mary Martins, Miss Scorpio, Donna Whitmack, Peggy Moore, Tyra Sell, Norma C, Skeet, Isabel Rodriguez, Rosalind Gentry, Andrea Dawn, Kentucky's Princess, Wise Old Lady. We are in the house. And we are in the house for part 4 of our series regarding the Cash Gernon case. This is one interesting case, to say the least. So is the Orrin and Orson West case. All of these cases are very different. Each one has its own signature. Whether the boys go missing or whether someone kidnaps a child and is caught on video surveillance footage doing it. Whether a child is left with a boyfriend, a significant other in Las Vegas. The girlfriend goes to Colorado to visit with her mother after some kind of hospital surgery, only to find out that the boy is missing, is taken by a relative, allegedly, only to find out that the boy was killed and dumped. All of these different cases have their signature, and this one is no different. The Cash Gernon case has a signature because a specific signature on it because it's captured on video surveillance footage. To see someone's child being taken the way we have seen Cash taken by someone who may be of a young age and now is held in the Dallas Police Department's jail facility awaiting trial under a capital murder charge in a short period of time. And so tonight in part 4, we're going to be delving into DB, Darian Brown versus Cameron Mori, KM. Because these two have a lot in common, age-wise, experience-wise, most likely family-wise, but they do have a lot in common. And one of the main things that they have in common is that these guys are young, play street games, they run around the street, they know the street, they do the street. The street does them and they do the street. So we have to keep that in mind going forward. We're dealing with a young group of people, a young family at the Sherrod house, and a lot has been said about it on YouTube from other platform content creators, and is covering this story on a day-to-day basis. Thank goodness for them. Thank goodness for them. Because it keeps us on our toes to the new developments that occur, especially in this case. We want justice for Cash. We want Justin for Orrin and Orson West, classic and sincere. We want Justin for Amari Nicholson. We still want justice for Malia Davis. We want justice for these children. They are our future. And to see them treated like this by a younger group, a younger crowd, which is supposedly they're supposed to know better, it seems like they haven't learned a thing. And so with that said, I welcome all of you tonight. Miss Vanessa Jones, welcome, is with us to moderate our chat. Sammy King is in the house. Love Me 2412 is in the house. Dexter Johnson is in the house. Charlene Stevens is in the house. Sharon Stevenson is in the house. All in Tanks is in the house. Lisa is in the house. Anna D is in the house. Charlene Stevens is in the house. Spacebound 75 is in the house. So we're going to get started with part 4. We've covered some valuable information in part 1. We actually looked at the video surveillance footage, gave you a walkthrough of that. Part 2, we came back with Cameron Mori's walkthrough and interview with the Daily Mail. Part 3, we had case discussion, which I found very interesting. Everyone seems to have still mixed thoughts as to whether that is Darian Brown or Cameron Mori in the video surveillance footage. And likely so. You're supposed to be skeptical. They always give us evidence that we just can't seem to make out. But it seems like the Dallas Police Department, along with the FBI forensics, knew who they were looking for, because Monica Sherrod stated that the person in the video was Darian Brown. It took her word for it. Police went and searched him down, found him, arrested him on a kidnapping and burglary charge. That was just to get things started. They began to continue to scour the neighborhood, scour the area, go to specific homes with search warrants. It was stated that there were a dark pair of sunglasses that were found at Darian's house, along with a black Adidas jacket and shoes. Whether they were black or not, they just said shoes. No pants, no backpack, no headband, none of the other things that we saw in that video surveillance footage showed up. So we have to question that. What happened to the rest of the clothes? What happened to the rest of the clothes? Why were only those items found and specified to contain blood DNA on those items? Now you have to wonder, if blood got on shoes, it could have gotten on socks. If it got on socks, it most certainly could have gotten on pants. If it got on pants, it could have gotten on the headband too. If there were blood evidence found on the glasses, the headband wasn't too far away. In that video surveillance footage, we can also see if there was DNA transfer. There was plenty of it. Plenty of it. Hair-to-hair follicles, DNA. Sweat on palmy hands, especially in a situation like that. You're going to steal something, you're going to take something. DNA. Rubbing up against the body. On all parts of the clothes, DNA. DNA on the blanket, DNA on the crib, DNA on the doors, skin trace DNA under the nails, if it was Darian Brown, and a host of other places. Hair follicles is DNA. Blood obviously is DNA. Dead skin, transfer, DNA. Saliva, DNA. Hair fibers, DNA. Carpet fibers, not necessarily DNA. But you figure the intruder was on a carpet in that room, which it absolutely appears to be a carpet in the room. You will have carpet trace samples on the bottoms of the shoes. So the Dallas Police Department has a lot to come back with. What they have is circumstantial evidence. That's the way I'm looking at it. There was a towel found in the laundry room that allegedly specified that there was blood DNA on that. The knife, DNA. Whether a gun was used, we don't know, but one was recovered. If there are teeth marks on Cash's face or anywhere on his body, that will be taken into consideration for DNA. So a lot of this is all circumstantial evidence, because there is no evidence that points to Darian Brown yet that he stabbed Cash multiple times in the chest or anywhere else on his body. So what the police have done is to build a circumstantial case based on kidnapping, based on burglary, based on the possibility that all of the DNA collected in the evidence points to murder. Points to murder of a young 4-year-old sleeping in his bed next to his brother, Carter. And so they got a big part of that job still left to do, because it's still not convincing enough. It's still not convincing enough to say that if it was Darian Brown, did he do it alone? Still not convincing enough. Cameron Mori plays a very important part in this, because he seemed to know everything that Darian did the night that the home was breached. Now, why is that? Why is it he knew he came through the garage? Why is it that he knew he walked through the garage interior door, kicked it open, tampered with the door, walked in the house where the laundry room was, made a right, walked his way past the kitchen, past the dining room, made a 180-degree left turn, past 2 sliding glass doors, and into a room where the boys were, sleeping at night. The videotape that we saw do not have timestamps. So who's to say what time any of this occurred? When forensics comes back from the FBI based on the video surveillance footage, after they do a bit block on the video surveillance footage, and for those of you who do not know what bit block is, it's a technique that they use to capture all video filming recordings in its entirety, complete, and block it from any kind of tampering. If Cash went to bed, where is that video? We need to see him go to bed. The camera should have been activated when he entered the room. So we don't have that part. What we do have is Carter entering the room from whence he came, maybe from the bathroom, maybe from the kitchen, but he did come through those sliding glass doors to get into bed, to cover himself with his blanket at the foot of Cash and go to sleep. The next thing you know, we have a dip in the video surveillance footage, maybe moments later, who knows, maybe a half hour later, maybe an hour later, maybe 2 hours later. We don't know. But the camera was activated and we saw the intruder enter that room in the outfit that we saw him enter in. We saw his behavior. We saw how tall he was, possible weight, skin color. It's very tough to tell. A lot of things. But a lot of people have been commenting on my live sessions, my live videos. I thank you. Hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them, with great information about what you have seen. Your perceptions are sharp looking at this particular case. And I'm glad for it, because we have many eyes that we can now get information from, many minds that we can now get information from as to what you've perceived. Your perception plays a very important role in this case. Now, we're not out to solve the case online, but we're here to make sure that the evidence and the information stand correct, and that people don't make a mistake and possibly put someone who didn't do these things in prison for the rest of their life, or even the death penalty. So by walking you through part 1 and 2, we got a little foundation. Having a discussion with you in part 3, we didn't really get into too much of a discussion because I had people come up on the panel, and we covered a small part in reference to a discussion. I did a bad job that night covering the comments in the chat, so my bad. So tonight, what we're going to do is to step into part 4 and take a careful look at both Darian Brown, Cameron Mori, as they have given us the information and the pictures and the video and all the information that they had given us. Let's take a careful look at these two guys. Some people even say that there was somebody else. There may have been somebody else outside of both Darian and Cameron. Well, we're going to look at that too tonight. Also, for any of my moderators, I know Vanessa Jones is in the room. She holds it down nice and tight. But then again, anyone coming to John Q's chat, we get into our work, and we don't bother with the trolls and things of that nature. Our work is too important. So with that said, let me just bring back up what I need to here. It's good to see everybody. Hopefully you had a good day. Happy Father's Day, belated Father's Day to those fathers in the chat. I had a wonderful one. I was supposed to go live last night, but it was Father's Day, so my my daughters and kept me out. We had a good time. But with that said, just give me a moment here. See if I can come out of this. Come out of this completely. How's that? Let's do this. And give me 30 seconds to hook up, and we'll be off and running. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, now last session, thank you for those who are just joining us. We're just getting started. You're right on time. We tried to match up some things regarding photo. Before I do that, wait a minute. Let me see if I have this. Just give me 1 second. See if this logged up. Hope everybody's doing well. All right, this thing is acting up over here as expected. So while we wait for that to happen, let's just go ahead and dig right into our screen share. Let's go to our photos. Let's go guys. Before we do, we want to make sure to cover our bases. All right. Lalani Buchanan, welcome. Miss Nay, welcome. Renee Risk, welcome. Hawkeye Seneca, welcome. Night Owl, welcome. I want to get our disclaimer up there and make sure that we have our bases covered. Know if anyone can actually see that. Just give me a second. It always works when you want it to work, huh? It always works when you want it to work. All right, let me go back to the chat. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little frozen stuff here, but just bear with me. You know how we get started. Let's see if I can. All right. I know, I'm trying to get a handle on it now. This thing is still making its buffering moves. I don't know why. Had everything set up. Just doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. All right, let's just do this. Get back to that in a second. Okay. All right. We have to put up our fair use notice. We will be using information from the internet, from research. Video may contain copyrighted materials, the use of which has not been specifically authorized by the copyright owner. We are making such material available for the purposes of criticism, comment, review, and news reporting, which constitutes the fair use of any such copyrighted material as provided for in Section 107 of the United States Copyright Law, notwithstanding the provisions of Section 106 and 106A, the fair use of a copyright work for the purposes such as criticism, comment, review, and news reporting. Educational purposes, too, is not an infringement of copyright. All right. I hope audio is on full blast. CME, you'll let me know if audio is not on full blast. Chris Thorne, welcome. Brother Chris Thorne. I was hanging out with him last night. He was covering some very good information on his channel. Welcome, Brother Chris. And so we talked about in parts 1 and 2, and a small part of part 3, 2 very interesting subjects in this case, Cash Gernon case. Darian Brown and Cameron Mori. How did they know each other? Did they really know each other? Is the question. Did they know each other from school? Did they know each other from the neighborhood? Were they associated in some group that we are not familiar with today? I asked the question about gangs. regarding Darian Brown and Cameron Mori. And I was hoping to get some answers on that. Not a lot of content creators have really delved into that. I believe maybe two had mentioned the fact that they could possibly be affiliated or associated in some way, shape, or form with gangs because of specific pictures that were taken of them having weapons. Why do people do that anyway? Take pictures with weapons and money, fan-tailing money and all this other stuff. It kind of says, what do you do for a living? It gives you a straight answer right from the hip. But you question these things, and for them being as young as they are, 18 and 18, you have a 16-year-old Emily that is part of the Sherrod household. I was wondering whether Darian, being 18, was actually going over to Monica Sherrod's house, kind of like, trying to get a hookup with Emily. 16 years old. Possibility? Perhaps. Worth thinking about? Absolutely. Could there be a connection there? Perhaps. But Cameron and Darian are the two main focuses of this case, outside of Monica Sherrod, Trevor Gernon, and a number of other people, the Pinkertons, etc., etc. But in this case, we were specifying and focusing on May 15th in the wee hours of the morning when we saw on video surveillance footage, on video surveillance footage, this. If I can open it up. This is what we saw. And I want to cut to the chase tonight. But you see it like I see it. It's the best shot off of several videos that I could get to the best shot that I could possibly get to show it to you. And as we can see, it is the infamous shot of the intruder snatching cash from his bed and walking out the room with him. I want you to look at the details of the picture that I have in front of you. We go back to the art of perception again. I want everyone who believes that this is Cameron, keep your belief. This is Cameron. I want everyone who believes that this is Darian, keep your belief that this is Darian. But you know what you see, though. You do see what is in front of you. I want you to go over the hair. I want you to go over possible skin tone of both Cash and the intruder. I want you to identify the clothes that are worn before you, both for Cash and the intruder. I want you to take a careful look at the dark sunglasses on the face of the intruder, the headband of the intruder, the backpack of the intruder. And a lot of people are still mixed. That's not DB. That's not Cameron. That's an Asian African American dude, Daniel says. Interesting. Everyone knows what Cameron's nose looks like I'm sure of it. But what you see in this picture, well, do you see Cameron's nose in this picture? Yes or no? Picture it in your mind and then take a look at the picture in front of you. Is that Cameron's nose? Sibling says no. Renee says yes. Sherry says no. Juicy and Joyful says no. Sammy King says yes. Daniel says no. That's not Cameron's nose. Lori says no. That's not Cameron's nose. All in Tank says no. Tracy P says yes. Anna D says, I don't know. Zam says yes. Barbara Kelly says yes. That's Cameron's nose. Charlene says no. Lolani says blurry for me. Vanessa says yes. Norma C. I have a long nose, so I know noses. Oh, okay. Well, that's good, Norma. Lisa Knox says no. Spellbound 75 says no. Skeet says it's someone else. Is that Cameron's nose? You look for distinctive features whenever you profile someone. In this case, profiling, you're profiling not only facial features, you're profiling everything. Everything. And it takes time to profile. So let's do a little moving around. I wanted you to get that picture in your mind because we're going to come back to this picture when we're done. Is Cash's head straight up or limp? Is Cash's arms buckled underneath, close to his chest? Is the intruder wearing gloves? Can you see? Are those dark sunglasses that you see? Okay. Let's take a look at Cameron. We did comparisons last time we were together in lives 1 and 2, specifically number 2. And we want to take a look at Cameron's features. I want you to profile Cameron tonight. I want you to pick out distinguishing features that you would remember him no matter what. If you closed your eyes, you could still see those distinguishing features, and they would never leave your mind. Now, do you see the nose? Rena S., welcome. When taking a look at a picture profile, you want to find distinguishing features. If the hair is distinguishing, what is it about the hair that distinguishes it from all other hair in this case? If it's the facial features, the eyebrows, the eyes, nose, bridge, shape of the mouth, chin, jawline, ears, neck, back of the neck, side of the neck. Pick a distinguishing feature and hold on to it. Let's move once again at your first profile. All right. Let's go back to and I want to get it just right because there is a reason. Okay. Perfect. Take a careful look at that. I want you to pay careful attention to skin tone, skin color. Get a magnifying glass if you have one at home. Lalani says she sees white. And this has nothing to do with racial undertones or anything. We are identifying a picture just as someone would identify another person if they ever had to talk to law enforcement about a robbery, car theft, mugging, shooting, domestic dispute, or arguing. This guy was standing right there. He looked about 5'11", possibly 6 feet, weighing about 160, 165, possibly 170. Thin build, waist about 30 to 32. Long arms past his pockets to the upper portion of his thigh. Once again, hairline, eyes. Do you see Cameron's nose? Can you see Cameron's nose? Can you see it here? Kentucky Princess says, I see white skin. Crystal Moore, welcome. That's okay, love. We were all running a little late the other day, but I'm glad you made it, Crystal. Welcome. I see tan skin, olive tone skin. Okay, we're getting someplace. What color skin do you see? Keep looking at it. The more you look at it, the more it'll crystallize. Remember, we did the perception exercise. The old lady and the young lady. Was she looking away or was she looking down? This is very hard only because we are looking at a still shot from the original scene in the room. Tan. I see brown skin. We're not talking about gloves, spellbound. We're just looking at the skin tone. Look for it wherever you can see it. On the back of the right hand or on the side of the right side of the individual's face. We're looking for skin tone. We're looking for Cameron's nose. What do you see? Now I'm going to ask you a question about this picture. Is his waistline higher than the crib rails on closest to where Cash's head is, right here? Is his waistline above it or below it? Is his waistline above it or below it? His hand is light skin. Okay, we're starting to get, okay. Above it. Yes, above it. Yes, above it. Yes, above it, above it, above it, above it, above it. Miss Justice, above it. Makeup Junkie, above it. Lisa Knox, above it. Is his waistline above or below the crib railing where Cash's head is laying? Above it or below it? White skin. Okay, Tanya. Above. Nay says above. You're profiling now. Come on. Yes, above it. We finally agree on something. Okay, Skeet. Above it. Above it. Okay, good. Above. Charlene says above. Tanya says above. Take a careful look. Is that waistline above that rim or below it? Kentucky Princess above it. Above, Norma says. This is how you profile. Okay. You're doing good. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, let's go back here. As best as you can. Now take a look at the picture. Tell me if you see Cameron's nose. Thank you, CME92. I see your comment. So we got a lot above. Keep that point. Boss Blake, welcome, brother. Do we see Cameron's nose in this picture? Yes or no? Let's get to some specifics tonight, because when you walk away, you're going to know who this is. Far more than you do now. Do we see Cameron's nose in this picture? Yes or no? Once again, for those that are just joining us, one more time. Profile it. Profile it. That's the nose you're looking for. That is the nose you are looking for. Now let us go back to that picture. Do you see that same nose here? Do you see that same nose here? Do you see skin tone a little better here? A lot of people are saying no to the nose. Okay. See, this is how you make progress when profiling. Because when you can see it just the way you're looking at it, you'll be able to find those distinguishing features, those markers, we call them. Markers of a facial feature when profiling are so distinct you cannot forget it. Barbara Keller says tan. Okay, we're starting to get some tan remarks in here and not white. And the majority of you have, a lot of you have not mentioned the word white. I've been looking at your comments. It's either olive skin, tan skin, off-light skin, waist is above the rim. I agree. Zam said tan. Beige, Lalani said beige. Oh, come on, Nancy. The nose looks like a Roman nose. How do you know what a Roman nose looks like? Not unless you're sitting in Italy somewhere next to the Colosseum. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Since the intruder is showing us his right side, are there any distinguishing marks on Darian now that you see? We can only see half his face, so I'm showing you the half that we see. We can't see the earlobe nor the ear ring because of the hoodie. Eyebrow we can see, definitely the pupils of the eyes, the full eye, half of the nose, and the lip lines, sideburns, hairline, and hair length. Now remember too, we don't know when this picture was taken, whether this is a mugshot, which I don't believe it's a jail mugshot because they usually stand you up against the wall with lines behind you. In some cases, it's a brick wall behind you. All depends on the police department and how fully equipped they are. And as big as Dallas is, they should be equipped. Let's stay here for a moment. We know that this was a starting point of the abduction, of the kidnapping. A person on the left-hand side is very tall, coming into camera view. We have to consider arm length here. And it looks like these arms are long arms. And usually when you have someone who has long arms, you would figure them to be a very tall person. Everybody agree to that? Long arms, long person. Thin build, tall person. Yes, okay. Moving him into the room, we still see a tall, slim person, black footwear. We can't tell in this photo about socks. We can go to pants. We can go up from the floor to the waist. Yes, I would agree that his waistline does shoot above the crib rim that we talked about. It does shoot above it. And from the floor up, we would have to say that this is at least, give or take, bar none, about 3 feet, possibly. Five. We can see how far his head is from the ceiling. We can see, adjacent to the top of his head, how tall he is to the air conditioner, how tall he is to the corner window to the left of him, how tall he is to the other corner window to the left of him, deep left, and how far he stands up over the crib in its entirety. There is no rocking chair in the middle of the floor here, if you noticed. I kept hearing some things about rocking chair. We'll get to that in a moment. But there is a ball here, some kind of toy. We've got the paint cans up against the wall. In this open bordered area between the windows, there is nothing here but those paint cans, right? And then we have the items here in the corner. That was a bad comparison. Look carefully. Once we get there, folks, I promise you, you're going to walk away knowing. Side-by-side picture, intruder in the room, and Darian Brown outside the next door neighbor's gate. Gate panels are usually at least 6.5 to 7 feet high on a border rim from the ground up. So this gives us an approximate size, not an exact, but an approximate height size. He's very tall. Almost as tall as the intruder inside of Carter and Cash's room. Height dimensions play a very important part. Slim to thin build. And we notice that underneath his chin in the picture on the left, we notice that there is a face mask under the chin. We also notice the picture to the right, a face mask under the chin. So now we are looking for signatures. I know this is as hard as hell to try to get you to see in both cases, but as clear as you can see it. And forgive me about the blurriness, but we're looking for signatures. And these signatures are starting to identify a specific person who carries a specific method and habits. Mask was under his chin in the boys' room. Mask is also identically under his chin outside, roaming the streets. Do you see that? Type of 1 in the room. Do you see that yourself? Spacebound says yes, 1. Zam, 1. Crystal Moore, Lisa Knox, 1. Lalani Buchanan, 1. Moneybags, 1. Deb K, 1. Makeup Junkie, 1. Laura Harvey, yes. Anna D, 1. 1. Lots of people do that. Do it. 1, 1. So everyone can identify the identical position of the face mask. Okay. We're getting close, but not close enough. These are all signatures, so we have to identify them. I don't want to blow it up too big because it distorts the picture. Once again, do you see the face mask? 1. Yeah, just type a 1 if you see the face mask underneath his chin. Do you see it a little bit better? Yes, yes. Someone said DB. Okay, Pixie Mermaid. 1, 1. There you go. This is how you identify a signature. Hell of a chick. Welcome. My love, I haven't seen you in a moment, but I have been visiting your channel. I love the work you do. 1, 1, 1. Okay, someone's identifying lips. 1, 1. If you see that face mask, when profiling, we're looking for signatures. Are those dark glasses? Or are they just reflection coming from his eyes looking into some kind of light? Because that is usually the time you have eye reflection. It's like taking a picture. If anyone has taken a picture before and a group of your friends are standing in front of you and you're at a nightclub and it's low light, some people's eyes show up in the picture just like that. They reflect back. They're not even wearing glasses, but they just reflect back. Weird, but it's captured. It is very weird, but that's how light reflects back. Yes, Renee Risk, red eye. So we have to consider a light source here. We have to consider a light source because the Arlo security surveillance camera is not posting any light from it because it's not designed to post light, according to the specifications that we went over in part 2. So where is this light coming from? What skin tone is the hand? What skin tone do you see on the face? Do you still see an olive, tanned, light skin tone? Or do you just see white? Tan, tan. Headband, light, tan, yes. Olive tan. Keep going. Keep going. What do you see? Tan. White or tan? Olive. Light skin. Thank you, Donna Wright. Dark skin, tone, tan. Definitely not white. Olive. Dark, tan, olive tan. Dark skin. Dark skin. Okay. Keep your profile. I hope you're taking notes too, because these are your words. Profiling. Once again. Now what do you see? Same thing? Tan? Or do you see white skin? Tan. olive tone, African American, tan skin. Zam says Cameron. You must be in love with Cameron. Tan. Tan. Hell of a chick says white. Olive. Black. Tan. White. White. Okay. Okay. Dark tan. A little lighter than before. Tan. Okay. All right. Keep that in mind. This is Cameron. We want every profile shot of Cameron as much as possible because it plays into the factors of the profile. The most distinguishing feature on Cameron is his nose. Second most is his hair. Third, mouth. Fourth, chin. High cheekbones. Thin face. And I'm going back and forth on these profile pics because this is where the nitty meets the gritty. His hair texture. The day of the interview. You notice it's more fuller here, much fuller, his hair, than here. It seems to be less lively. Profile. Frontal shot. Nose, ears, jawline, mouth, eyes, eyebrows, hairline again. Neck, chin. Bridge of the nose. How wide the eyes are apart. Nose line. Top of the lip. You got a very thin top lip, but a semi-full bottom lip. And as many times as everyone has seen Cameron, you haven't seen him the way I'm showing it to you. Now, do you see Cameron here? Do you see Cameron here? Is Cameron in this picture? No. Lisa says no. Charlene, no. Tanja says yes. Cameron has a long neck. Lalani says no. Sibling says no. Free Reed says no. Gabby says yes. DeWolf says yes. Moneybag says no. CJ Jones. She's still with the night vision, huh? No. Lilacs and roses, no. You see Cameron there? You see him here. Do you see him there? Do you actually see him here? This is Darian's full face. Anna D says, I don't know. When profiling, you got to take a look at all angles. But this is a good exercise. Just as we started, you see Cameron here. You see Darian there. Cameron. Darian. Cameron. Now we see Cash. And here was a picture that was taken and posted possibly on Facebook. It was sent to me. And someone wanted me to identify what was in this picture. Here, right behind the baby. What do you see? What do you see behind the baby? Next to the stand-up vacuum. Terry says a camera. Tracy says a camera. Kathleen says a camera. Crystal Moore says a camera. Lisa, camera. Tanja, camera. Makeup Junkie, camera. Renee, camera. Gabby, camera. Skeet, camera. Night Owl. Lalani, camera. Windensar, camera. Nancy, camera. Night Owl, camera. Alicia Ann, camera. Sandrin, camera or a sensor. Sherry Corwin, camera or sensor. Arlo, camera. I have them. Pink butterfly. Okay. So everyone sees the position of this camera. And coming back into full view, it appears as though that there is a camera that is about the same in the vicinity of about 1 foot, possibly 15 inches high from the floor. In this particular room, which may be the room the boys slept in, out of sight, behind this piece of furniture, where this stand-up vacuum is. So we do have an electronic device, another one in the room. So that tells us we are going to have more video surveillance footage. We should, not unless the camera was disabled. There should be more video. We talked about the crib. The height of the crib, give you the dimensions, and this is just an eye visual compared to what we've been through so far. It's about 3 inches, 3 inches, right? About 3 foot high. This would be about a possible 3 by 5, 3 by 4 crib size. The back is slightly higher. Where the boys slept, this is a very cramped and dense area. We do see two-tone blankets, blue, pillows. Each child had their pillow. I want to thank Q Carlock for doing a magnificent job and posting a lot of the pictures that we're going to see. Q Carlock. If you haven't subscribed to Q Carlock, please do. She's doing a good job. I like her spice. I like the way she puts things together. Hell of a Chick is also in the chat. Please subscribe to her. She's also tearing this case apart. Very analytical, meticulous, and never satisfied until the right answer happens. She's like me. And now we get to one of the pictures I've been wanting to talk about. Yes, hell of a chick. I have in my late nights, I think it's after 2 o'clock in New York here, my late night, I'll click your channel on to see how, 1:30, 1:45, I think you've covered your lives and really, really delved into going as slow as possible to take a look at the evidence, just as we did in the Kanika Jenkins case. But now before you is the room. I'm going to do some special things with this picture because we need to see what we need to see. Everyone see this picture clearly, type a 1, please, so we can go over the crime scene. This is by far the best shot I've come across. Clear. Yes, okay. We're going to get into it, folks. The night vision picture shows us an entirely different room than the day picture, obviously. We see the windows clearly. We have one window with a hanging curtain rod in this one. So this would definitely be an after picture during the crime scene photo take by the technician. We see all 4 windows and a door that leads to the back of the home. Light switch, door. Now we have an item here underneath the window, along with the paint cans, other items on the floor. Now that the ball has moved from this position all the way over here to this position. In the night vision, the ball was more closer centered line with the room than it is now. So this ball has been touched. These curtains have been touched. We didn't see the curtain rod at night. These were taken down, clearly off the rod. But we do have the sheer portion of the curtains still left intact. Now we have the rocking chair. Another item that we did not see in the night vision. Now placed in front of the window. So whoever the technician is and is taking these pictures and comparing these pictures to the night vision picture, I'm sure that they know that items are not as they appeared to be in night vision. Still, corner, we still have this item here. We have the crib. We have the 2 windows an air conditioner. I saw in a video that was posted, do not repost, where the FBI technicians entered this room and could not open up this door. 2 technicians tried. It gave me the impression that the door is sealed shut. If they couldn't get out the room, neither could the boys. And if they couldn't get out the room from the inside, then no one could get in from the outside. This is as best shot as I can get of that door. I wanted to find out what it was that was holding this door in place. And obviously there's a top dead bolt. Looks kind of new. Hadn't been there for a long time. That bolts this door shut. I am not sure if that is a keyhole that was reversed. It wouldn't make sense for it to be, but a regular door handle. The frame is still intact. There is no damage to this door frame whatsoever for any entry going in or going out. We have the curtains in window 1. We pull out. These seem to have been just regular curtains. There is an object of some kind, maybe wood, behind the curtains, possibly a sun blocker or a visual blocker, so no one could look inside the boys' room while they were there. The toy items here on the floor. This looks more like a football pointed at us. Paint cans in the corner. A truck. What appears to be another ball. The rocking chair. Why did they put that there? Why did they leave the paint cans in the boys' room? That is a hazard. Items on the floor looks like other toys, but this curtain rod was definitely taken down. Going to the window where we saw the light. Outside the window, right about here, is where we saw the light. That infamous flickering light, someone said might have been headlights to a car that was making a turn outside. I doubt it. Headlights from a car would illuminate the whole window, not just a pinprick of an area in terms of space. We have a low beam from the ceiling. We have a light. Interior light with no cover. This looks like a smart light bulb here with an external cover has been removed. Possible wet spots from upstairs. Possibly the bathroom could be in this area upstairs where the bedrooms are. Going down the beam. Going to the fan fixture. The blades have been taken off here. 3-dimensional. We are looking at the ceiling. We are looking at the walls and windows. We are looking at the floor. As I stated in part 1, All crime scenes are three-dimensional. Items here, here. There's a discoloration on the rug. We have the bed items here to the frame. We have this third window here. I don't know what that is. I can't really see it too good. We have the air conditioner, which is a silver air conditioner with a silver face, small, portable. Let's go down. Wall markings here. Looks like an item past it, some kind of picture here. Okay. These curtains look manipulated like crazy, especially curtain 1, curtain 2, or a window 2. Distinctive features here. Curtain 1. This may have been moved by the technicians. We don't know. But a careful look and an inspection tells us that these were moved. You go back to night vision, you'll see that these are not in their rightful places. Let's move on. I'm starting to put together our three-dimensional floor, walls, windows, and ceiling. I'm glad they took a good picture here because we're now able to see the full size of the room, at least in its entirety, a whole lot better. We'll see these items again from a different viewpoint. We could see these items a little bit clearer now. There's a lot of markings on the wall. I don't know if this was from any kind of playing, but this is no good, especially for boys that age, to have these kinds of markings on the wall. I don't know if that's a missing paint part from the wall or an incomplete painted portion of the wall. Is everyone getting this? Okay, good. Very good. When you can see what I see, then you can see everything I see. Nothing moved. Now we can see something entirely different. When Darian Brown walked out of camera view in the daylight, in the day vision, he did not walk out of a door. So we see and know that this door here is 80 inches from the floor up to the top. This is a standard door. Could be an entrance door or an exit door. The standard size is 80 by 36. 80 inches high, 36 inches wide. And it looks like an all type of weather door, just in case it rains or snows. I'm thinking that the painting on the interior is the same as the painting on the exterior. But here, we could see that there's no doorway here. So when Darian walked out of camera view, could he have possibly walked up against this wall to be out of camera view, knowing that there was a camera in the room and did that intentionally. Now we see what is behind this particular area. That piece of furniture that we saw. Hold on. Here, where we see cash and the wall behind cash and that corner, that piece of furniture in this area where this camera is, here, right in here, in this pocket where this toy is, where the fish tank is. Could that camera be in this area? To have Darian walk across the floor to go into this area to disappear out of camera frame? Let's take a look at something here. Just so that you can see it for yourself. Here's our dimensions. So we know the room height would be approximately about 7 feet, 7¼ feet from the floor to the ceiling if we have an 80 by 36 inch door, which would be equivalent to 6 foot, 6 inches. Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? Because if the door is as high up as it is wide in the standard dimensions of a door, then we can start to pinpoint height. Make sense? We can start to pinpoint height. And if we can pinpoint height, both Cameron and Darian's height, then we can get a good idea as to who stood in that room that night. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we see something. Do you guys see something? Outside of the children's little chair and objects, do you guys see anything else? In between these two pieces of furniture, do you see something else? K-Ran, yeah, I would say so. It is a low ceiling. About 8 feet, 7.5, give or take. K-Ran says an outdoor plug. Skull says black box. Crystal Moore says a black box. Looks like a charger, not a camera, says Skeet. Looks like a hole in the wall, says Charlene. Kimberly says a black box. Spacebound, black camera. Crystal Moore says maybe an adapter. Fire Mama 411 says black object on wall. Spy Cam Just Star says, whatever it is, it's here. We didn't see it in the video surveillance. This was taken out of our visual. So to see what we see, and then we have to ask ourselves, this would be a closet maybe for clothes for both Cameron and Cash. Excuse me, for Cash and Carter. Up and down. Our solid door again. 80 inches up. From here to here would be about, give or take, 4 to 5 inches up. 85 inches altogether. So this would be close to 6 3/4 feet. About low-hanging ceiling. So our assailant, our intruder, would have to be near the height of this door, or less, slightly less. All right. Keep those numbers in mind, folks, because we're coming right back to them. The damaged door from the garage. We see the actual lock component, the deadbolt up top. We see the lower door handle and frame and door. This is not fresh wood. Hold on. You know me, folks. I start digging into stuff. This is, how old is this? We got a plate here. It's a breaker plate. We've got wood here. We've got a Phillips screw here, an old one there in the deadbolt. This door has definitely got some wear and tear on it. We've got screws here holding the plate. And here we have the actual lock. Mixing screw from the top. Screw is down below, is present. This has been jimmied out. Almost if it was pushed or some kind of object. May have slid between the door and the locking mechanism itself to jimmy it open. This looks like a standard closet door handle. Inexpensive. Nothing in terms of high security. But here's our door. There are no kick marks embedded in or around or near the door locking mechanism, because that's where you would kick if you want to open a door. You kick it right where the lock is. I'm going to skip that. Well, we know Trevor is in jail. They caught him. Monica's definitely got some questions for him in this ordeal. What could Trevor possibly say? What could he possibly say other than what he said in a written statement that he audio recorded? Because if you listen to it, it sounds like he's reading and putting emotion behind it. For these two who are involved with narcotics for so long, and him having warrants out for his arrest, just because he didn't want to do the right thing. Go to the programs, get cleaned up. Take care of your boys. Why were they away from the biological mother for so long? What went wrong there? What happened there? Why did he take those boys on the run with him? Did Monica know that he was on the run? What did he tell her? What did he tell her when he left? Was he coming back? Was there any kind of financial arrangements made after his departure? How was she going to care for these boys medically if something were to happen? Financially, for food and clothes. We have a lot coming out of this case, especially from these two. And when that court trial does come, we will find out a whole lot more than we do now in terms of how they got together and what was the arrangement between the two. Okay. Little kids wake up with the sun. Yes, Norma C., they do. When was Trevor coming back? Was he thinking about coming back? Was he ever coming back? What did the boys think? Where did Daddy go? When is he coming back? Where's Mommy? What could have ran through those children's mind? What ran through the father's mind? What was going through the biological mother's mind, knowing that she was out there looking for them? Why did he take the boys and not let her know where they were? I don't feel sorry for Trevor. No way. As for these two, he's the main star attraction for this case. Monica Sherrard, Cameron Mori. Him being the oldest child in the house out of 4 children. Emily's 16. You have Matthew, and you have Landon. Then you have Carter and Cash. 6-bedroom home. And they get stuck in a makeshift room because she wanted the boys together. What is this? What do you see here? Right over Cameron's shoulder, his left shoulder. What is that? Can someone tell me? Take a careful look. Some say it was a sensor on the wall in the garage. Renee says it's an alarm system. Crystal says it opens the garage door. Garage door opener, DeWalsh says. Garage door opener, Kron says. Skulls says intercom? Question mark. Terry? Question mark. Bree-Love, garage door opener. Colleen, black box. Garage opener. You can also lock it, says Crystal. Do these garage door openers have keys or cards? Or both? All depends, I guess, huh? When you're inside, you can open up the door from the interior. When you're outside, you would have some kind of a remote control with a sensor or push button type of deal where you can open these doors, the garage doors from the outside, once she wanted to get in. No radio frequency. Okay. Okay, in your car, says Crystal. Okay. I just found that item there during my profiling. Very interesting. Along with all the rest of the furniture that's in the garage. Found that very interesting too. We talked about the door. We talked about the room. This was another picture from Q Carlock. All the items in the garage. And is not free and clear from any kind of debris. Furniture. No wonder the cars were outside. This is a lot of stuff. Too much stuff. Both here and in the living room. So they were living under a fire hazard altogether. Okay. Okay. So let me do this. See where I am. We're doing good for time. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me, folks. This has been quite an extraordinary investigation on my part. Taking a look at profiles, taking a look at items, taking a look at scenery, taking a look at the crime scene, taking a look at it from a three-dimensional point of view. I'm trying to see. If I can find the picture that I had. Maybe it's in the other one. Oops. Hold on. Just give me a little bit. Just give me something. All right. Where was it? Did I put it in here? Yes or no? Come on, John. I think I did. I think I did. Okay. We are here. 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 I know I might be asking a lot, but it's well worth to ask. Oops, I done messed that whole thing up. Do it again. There we go. You see comparison there? Is there anything of a signature you can see? Two different viewpoints. Definitely two different times of day. What do you see? Yes, that's right. Look at knee posture. Look at waist. We're going to forget about the shoes right now. Take a look at the neckline, arms, side profile. This is Darian Brown. Is it? Are these two the same people? Arms are longer in one. Two different people. Not the same person. Two separate boys. Two different people. Now remember too, you've profiled the mask. The mask is underneath chin number 1 in the black and white, and the mask is underneath chin number 2 in the color photo. Don't forget your profile. Take a careful look. Let's find somebody else. Let's find somebody who was mentioned in this story that we haven't brought into the story. Maybe there could be a difference there. Who knows? But what we do know is that this guy showed up at the balloon release. Now tell me what you see. Now tell me what you see. Skeet says that's hunch. Honcho bands. That is not this guy's. Let's do this. When you're doing an analysis, you want to line your people up, right? Oops. He's wearing glasses. Yes, he is. You could see his eyes and his nose and his mouth, the length of his arms. But he doesn't appear to be tall. He's the dude with big feet. Okay. I'll see if I can do that. Uh, it's only going to give me rotate. I don't want to crop it or any of the above. Let me see if I can do this. Draw. No, I don't want to do that either. That was a good idea. Someone asked me if I could rotate it. I don't think I have that option on this. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Seems like this guy wrote a song. A crazy song. Talked about cash. I think it was a letter that was out there talking about cash. Still nothing yet? Well, there is something. Those are older pictures. Yes, they are. There is something very distinguishing between Darien and Honcho Bands. It appears as though Honcho Bands has darker skin than Darien. There's that photo. Oh. You can get the comparison together and take a very good look at possible distinctive features, signature features. Do you think that Honcho Band fits the bill? Type of 1 for yes, type of 2 for no. Does Honcho Bands fit in this scenario? Barbara Kelly says no. David says no. Renee says yes. Crystal Moore says yes. Bree Love says no. Okay, Fire Mama says no. Mary Ann says no. Charlene says no. No, no, no. Very good. Even though Honcho Bands does have dreadlocks. His build is almost symmetrical. Very thin. Slim. Different build. Yes, Norma. No, Lisa Lee, I do not have a I'm still working on that. He is small, Spacebound. Very good. Honcho Bands is more petite. Sorry to give him a female description, but he's very, very small in the arms. Where we see Darian is more broad-shouldered, up top here, as well as up top here. There is a slight hunch just before the backpack, and we also see a slight hunch in the back of Darian here. Slight hunch here. All goes to signature. Here. Now, I got that picture. Okay. All right. So that's the same picture. Let me see if I can do this. Drop this down. Let me find good old Cameron, where I had him before. Because Darian's got that mask underneath his chin, just like this dude has the mask underneath his chin in the room. That's a signature. You do something once, you'll continue to do it. If you stand one way once, you'll continue to do it. If you bend one way once, you'll continue to do it. T-Star, how you doing? I just wanted to throw Honcho Bands in there just to see if that would change the mood. Where is that picture? There it is. Up. Okay. Question for the night. I'm getting to my point about the crib now. Oh, right there. A little bit more, John, a little bit more. Right there. Right there. That's what I want. Putting these guys side by side, I had a question in the chat earlier. And the question was, let's see if I can get this right. Hold on. Oh, that's about as small as I can get it. I had a question earlier in the chat. Yeah, that's about as small as I can get it. Okay. Putting it in this light. I want you to take a careful look at a signature we put in the room earlier tonight. We stated that the intruder in the night vision's waistline is above the crib rail. The majority of you said it was above it. Now I'm going to ask you, where do you see the crib line and the waistline in Cameron? Is his waist below it or above it? Is his waistline below it or above it? Look at his hands because they're close to his trousers zipper. And then come up a little. Below. Pixie Mermaid says below. Can't tell. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Measure it. Keep looking. Don't answer too quickly. I want you to imagine Cameron's waist is right here. His butt is here. So his waist is not too far, and I would put it right here. As we see here, standing just as close, maybe even closer than the intruder that night, where his waistline is obviously above it. You tell me what you see. Above it or below? Below. 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 And these are approximate distances, but nonetheless, both are close. Everybody has their opinion. Yes, they do. Almost even or below. Even with. Okay. All right. So in doing an analysis of these two guys, both Cameron and Darian, the issue is still the same for most people and maybe a change in others. But taking a look at Cameron's face and then comparing it to the intruder's face, are they symmetrical? Because quite frankly, where I'm sitting, Cameron's facial features are not present in the night vision video. Just by looking at the face, side profile, the nose. What messes us up is that face mask underneath the chin, but skin tone. Look how the skin tones are. If the waistline doesn't work with the crib rim, one being above it, the other being below it, let's go to skin tone. Do you really see a difference in the skin tone? Is there a difference in the skin tone? Can you see, especially the nose? Little May said makeup. Okay. Sharon Stevenson says no difference. Cameron's face is pointier. Can't tell in the black and white because the part of the face, it blends into the wall. Yeah. I wanted you to see that comparison. so that you have it. On my channel, anyway. You have it. All right. Food for thought, folks. This is what we're looking at. I'm hunting for more pictures. I'm hunting for more angles. I'm hunting for height dimensions, mass dimensions. It's close. But one thing for sure, and this I can state, the night vision person, if it's not Darian, then it is someone that has a color complexion to them. Compare it to Cameron's color complexion, you can see the difference. But at least you see it here. Okay. Let me keep moving because we are ticking the clock here. Let me see where we are. Okay, we are 2 hours in. Okay. I usually like to end my lives within this, but I got some extra stuff I wanted to show you. This was that camera. And the way the room appears, there is something that bothered me. I'm going to put this on. When this camera captured the moments in the room and the snatch and grab that occurred, there was a light we all saw in the room. In fact, there was an orb, both low where the legs are and then both high to the shoulder area. We saw the light reflected from the window and it appeared. I was under the impression, and I am still under the impression, that the motion sensor light in the camera was activated when motion occurred. Motion occurring in a close distance in that room, adjacent to the window, this camera stood. So hence, if there was motion detected and the light went off, and we didn't see it stay on, but it went off and on, off and on, only when motion was detected, then it would be logical to say that there was a reflection through the sheer curtain near the window, reflecting back. And most people will argue with that, but it is just an observational point. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm just bringing it out as an observational point. All right. Hopefully I've given you some food for thought between Darian Brown and Cameron Mori tonight. The height of door's distance, but I still say it appears. I didn't say it was. Oh, John Q said it was Darian. No. I said it appears to look like Darian. Studying his movements, his height, body mass, appears. Let's go here. We have an intruder in the house, and this intruder snatched cash from his bed. I was able to get this from one of the content creators. I don't know if it was AB. I don't know if it was Twisted Cindy. But I do thank that content creator, either one. But this is a Google map bird's eye view of the neighborhood. Where cash was taken from. This particular area in the neighborhood from this house, 7500 block of Florina Parkway, home of Cash Gernon, was snatched by an 18-year-old suspect, Darian Brown, at 5 a.m. as he slept alongside his twin brother, Carter. Now, the only thing that would state whether it was 5 a.m. would be the video surveillance footage, but there's no timestamps on the video surveillance footage. So where did the time come from? The time comes from an approximate and not an exact. It's an approximate time. It could have been a little bit before 5. It could have been a little after 5, but it is an approximate and not an exact. Once the FBI forensic team analyzes the video surveillance footage for the metadata, it's data collected from video surveillance footage that tells you the date, the time, how much footage was used, the speed of the footage, the pixelations, everything, especially the speed in terms of speed per second. So once that information comes back, then we'll know for sure the exact time that the video was taken. Right now, it's more of an approximate time, estimated time, than an exact time. Okay, with that said, we're taking a look at a Google map that shows us the 2 locations from whence Cash came from with the intruder all the way to the other side here, the 7500 block on Saddle Ridge Drive. Cash is found stabbed to death, shirtless and barefoot, by a female pass-buyer just before 7. So you see the words and semantics that they use at this point. Just before 7 a.m. So they're marking it at 7. That's quite some distance to be carrying a little child with no shirt, no pants, barefoot, in the wee hours of the early morning, depending on when sunrise happens in Texas, to be carrying him maybe along a straight line, maybe in between houses, try to give some cover. Was Cash up when the intruder was in motion? Was Cash making noise when the intruder was in motion? Taking him into the streets? Was he screaming? Was he yelling? Did he want to go back home? Was he cold? Was it raining? Only for the end result of getting him way over here in this area and neck of the woods to be found stabbed to death. Was that a way of making Cash quiet? When the autopsy report comes back, we will know if there were bite marks on his face. We will know how many times exactly he was stabbed. We will know where blood was found, how much of it was found, the condition he was left in. We will know. When the toxicology report comes in, we will know if anything was in his system, whether there was any drugs or any kind of sleep agent anything in his system that would pronounce foul play. Saddle Ridge Drive. Let us take a look at this street together, because this is where Cash Gernon was found, located right here at the foot of a driveway that sits in front of a home. And it seems like this trail, this very light trail, was marked out as a blood trail. It goes all the way back to the sidewalk on the left-hand side of the street behind this vehicle. Whereas we see two homes here and here on an open street, sidewalk is in the midst, in the background. Did any of these homes have cameras? Did the home to the right have cameras? And as we can see, this is a very long trail going back in this direction. Here we have the sidewalk area where Cash was left in front of this home, in front of these two homes, precisely. So I am thinking this home here with the white sedan, four-door sedan, sitting here, has a garage opener, such as the one that we talked about earlier, and perhaps maybe a video surveillance camera sitting outside somewhere on this building as a preventative measure for any kind of theft. It seemed like that neighborhood had an issue with people breaking into cars. It would be wise to have a camera on the external part of the buildings, give or take, to keep an eye on a very expensive vehicle sitting out in the driveway. So if this home here had a video surveillance camera that was on and active and detected motion, and the motion was this close based on the foot of this driveway, it would have caught the intruder and the murderer of Cash Gernon right here. Do the Dallas police and the FBI have that evidence? Have we heard anything about any additional video surveillance footage that nails Darian Brown to the wall? All we have at this point is circumstantial evidence. The black glasses, the shoes, the Adidas jacket, blood drop or trace evidence of blood on a towel that was found in a washing machine or a dryer at the Sherrod home. That's all we have, all circumstantial. But if any one of these homes had video surveillance cameras, there would have been no way anybody would have missed this particular area in any way, shape, or form that would have given us the impression that it either caught someone in motion or it caught a car in motion. Either way. But the passerby, the one who found Cash in the street, who was on foot, found that child right here. Ants on its feet, on his feet. Blood on his face. Obviously his chest. We haven't heard any information about video surveillance footage coming from this neighborhood as of yet. But this is where he was found. Oh, I keep going the wrong way. This is the house to the left, opposite where Cash was found. Do you think they had video surveillance cameras pointing and posted outside the building? Looks like a very expensive home. Why not? These homes were in close proximity of the drop-off point. Going back in front of this house, in the driveway, from a different angle. To the foot of the driveway. Could there have been a video surveillance camera here? Could there be a video surveillance camera at the door, such as a doorbell video camera? Here. Could there have been a video camera posted here? Along the home's, what do you call that? Water gutters or roof rim here. I hope so. Because if it does, it would have captured what happened on this street, May 15th, Saturday morning, here. Doesn't look like a high traffic area. Looks like just a quiet residential area. And for these people to have woken up only to find a barrage of police, investigators, FBI, crime scene technicians, even neighbors, asking why all the commotion was out in the street. Let's go here. This is one heck of a trail. Looks like it's coming from across the street over to the other side up until it gets to this point here and then stops. Who else would have seen this occur? What about this house here? Do they have cameras? Here's that white car in the driveway of the house we just got finished talking about. So I'm looking for video surveillance footage to be blown up in this case. But this was the resting place in which Cash Gernon was found on May 15th, the early mornings, at around 7 a.m. by a jogger or person on foot. And let me see if we can do this. I want to thank you guys for putting up with me tonight. I know I'm covering a lot of information, but you know me, I like to be as thorough as possible. See if I can open up a different tab. Pull this on point. Because I had all of this open. I had all my work in front of me. And then all of a sudden, you go down to the bottom tab and boop, disappears. Let's find out. From here. Oh, we got to get rid of that ad. Good old YouTube. Great for ads. All right. Should be queuing up. Ready to go.
This morning, police are still searching for a motive in the chilling murder of a 4-year-old Dallas boy. Surveillance footage shows the haunting moment Cash Gernon was taken from his bed, where he was sleeping right next to his twin brother. The child's body was later found abandoned in the street by his neighbor, Antoinise Square, and she joins me live now. Antoinise, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate your time.
Sure, no problem.
Can you take me back to the morning of May 15th and tell me what happened and what you saw?
Sure, I remember like it was yesterday. I was going out for a walk, and I remember debating even going to walk that day. And I stepped outside, and I thought it was a beautiful day, so I just said I would go ahead and walk in the neighborhood. As I was walking up my street, turning onto another street, I remember seeing hair laying there. So my first thought was I thought it was a dog, and I immediately called my mom, and I say, hey, I think I see a dog laying in the middle of the street, but it's kind of weird because it's not moving. As I was talking to her, I'm walking, and as I'm walking, I see a hand, and I told my mom, I say, Mom, I think this is a person laid out in the middle of the street. I see a hand, I see a foot. And then as I got closer, I just started screaming and crying. I said, Mama, this is a baby. This is a baby. He has no shirt on, no shoes, no socks. He had blood over his face. I'm just crying. So at that point, my mom was trying to calm me down because I was crying. She told me to call the police. Hang up for me, call the police. I called the police. I spoke with the paramedics, and the paramedics, they had to calm me down a bit. And they asked me if I could walk towards Cash just to see maybe if he's, if he's conscious. And I remember looking at his poor body, and I remember seeing ants on the bottom of his feet. And I remember telling the paramedics that, and it seemed shortly after I told them that the police was pulling up.
You're a mother of 3. You're a teacher. You have a 3-year-old. Cash was about the same age. He was 4. When you try and sleep at night, what goes through your mind?
I have so many emotions. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I'm angry. I'm wondering, why did this have to happen to a baby? Why like that? It's just so many emotions.
18-year-old Darian Brown is charged with kidnapping and theft in connection to Cash's death. He's seen in that surveillance video taking Cash out of his bed. Have you ever seen this person in your neighborhood?
I've never seen him. I've never seen him at all. Now, I've heard a lot of neighbors to have a few problems, and they've seen him, but me personally, I've never seen him.
And had you had any interactions with Cash with his brother, with the family that he was staying with?
No, not at all.
How difficult is it for you when you think about that day and you were the one who came upon him, this little boy laying there in the street? It must be torturous for you to get that image out of your mind.
It is. It's truly traumatizing. You know, I have my moments where I try to move on with my day and make the best of my day. And no matter how many times I try to move on, I can't unsee what I saw. And it's caused me to be very paranoid. With my children, I'm constantly wanting to know where they are. I'm constantly in the house looking for them. I haven't built up enough nerve to watch the video, and I probably never will. It's really felt like a loss for me. And I think it's a loss I think his death is it's really a rude awakening for the entire community.
How important is it, do you think, that police get to the bottom of this and figure out the motive behind this and exactly what happened?
I think it's very important. I think we owe it. I think we owe it to Cash to find out why, what happened, to know all of the facts so that as a neighborhood, we can stay aware. We could be more conscious of our surroundings, at least knowing, it won't help the situation at all, but at least it will give us clarity on what happened. I'm not sure to make us feel better, but it'll at least give us some type of, closure.
Yeah, especially for his family. Antoinise, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm sorry to talk to you under these circumstances, but I do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Todd.
Yeah, that line about the answer.
Okay. And that brings us here, where we started. We've covered some additional information about this case. And as we stated in the beginning, this is an extraordinary case in extraordinary ways as it unfolds. Cash Gernon, age 4, whose life was taken way too early. May he rest in heaven. May justice be done for young Cash. May his brother, Carter, have love and healing with God's speed. May the intruder or intruders or perpetrators of this crime be brought to justice. If Darian Brown had anything to do with this case, because he's telling his attorney it wasn't him, he had nothing to do with the death of Cash, well, that will be brought to light. As for burglary and kidnapping, perhaps that will stick. There are a number of charges that have been brought and have escalated to a capital murder charge in this particular case. But nonetheless, we need justice for Cash. I tried to give you the tools and the mindset necessary to really take a look into this case as best as you can. The way I take a look at the case. I don't cover everything. I'm not a Mr. Know-it-all. I don't have all the facts on the table. I'm getting close, though. We are getting close. And as long as we give it our attention, our undivided, clear attention, we'll find the answers. Perception plays a very important role in this case, as it does all cases. I've said that. With you supporting not only my channel, but other content creator channels covering this case, we'll get to those answers, and they are coming. But know this as a fact. They're building their case. Prosecution in Dallas is building a case with circumstantial evidence right now. All things pointing to Darian Brown, but not pinpointing Darian Brown. If any one of those homes on Saddle River Drive has video surveillance footage that has got him lock, stock, and barrel carrying cash between the buildings, behind the buildings, in the street, from a car, on the sidewalk, to the middle of that street, up until the foot of, up where to the foot of that driveway was, that we all seen, where all the flowers are, the memorial. Then he's nailed for what he's done. They got him. I hope so. If he did do it, he deserves everything that he gets. If he didn't do it, as he states to his attorney, Mr. Heath Harris, then Heath Harris will not only have an uphill climb defending his client, but will bring reasonable doubt into the case, possibly because of his relationship, Darian Brown's relationship to Cameron Mori and other associates that they run with. Remember, if they are affiliated in any way, shape, or form, because they go to school, we'll find out from school records how good Darian Brown is in class. How many times he skipped out on school. How many times he went to school. What is he passing in? All of that will be brought to light. Also Cameron Mori too. And anyone he associated with. All these will come to light. Evidence that is being further looked into will be brought to light. I want to thank everybody for sticking with me in tonight's live. We've covered 4 of them now. I'm working on a 5th. And that I will bring to you directly as soon as I'm finished with it. Because we're going to get into the specifics and attitudes of the people surrounding this case. Monica Sherrod, I haven't really spoke too much about, but we need to speak about her. The Pinkertons were involved in this case. We haven't spoken about them, but we need to look at them. We need to look at them. We need to know what Trevor Gernon, his experience with Monica Sherrod. We need to look at that too. All things considered, we need to look at everything. So we have to take this one step at a time. That's the way I do it. That's the way I've done it. It's the way I've always done it. So for tonight, you've got another glimpse, another piece of perception, if you will, another viewpoint as this case unfolds, as the other content creators come into information and share that with you and share that with us. We're coming to the light. The guilty will be prosecuted and the innocence will be revealed. All of it will come out. It's just a matter of time. So with that said, I want to thank every single one of you for being patient in my little technical difficulties here and there and bringing up certain things. As I said, when I go live, I set everything up, and every time I go live, something gets knocked out, but I work through it. I'm like water. I flow where I go. But tonight, this has been quite a journey for us all. And is not any moment that I'm working on the research of this case, it brings a tear to my eye because I have children. Many of you know I'm a father and a grandfather. Many of you are parents and grandparents. And to see these things happen to our children or our neighbors' children or our community's children. It's not right. We got to wake up. We all have to wake up to this. This is our society in the 21st century. Our children are being taken from us. I'll be coming back on Thursday with a special live for Orrin and Orson West, the two boys that went missing in California City. I've been staying on that case, doing research behind the scenes, and coming up with, well, I'll leave that for the live to show you. It's more and more information coming into that case, even though it's quiet, but it's still coming in nonetheless. I want to thank all the content creators who have joined me tonight here. Miss Hell of a Chick, I love your channel. I am so glad you are live. Thank you so much, dear. It's the way you explain things and break them down that's got my attention, and how you question things to give clarity to things. Bless you for that. Miss Crystal Moore, my top of the line moderator for tonight. Thank you so much, dear. The day I met you and the day we clicked, I knew you had to be with John Q. I knew you had to team up with me because of the work you've done for another content creator. Much love goes out to you, Miss Crystal Moore. Mr. Boss Blake, thank you for joining us tonight. And all other content creators that have joined tonight's program, thank you. As well as my subscribers. I get tons of comments. I'm trying to get through them from the very first live. I get literally well over nearly 200 from the first, 300 from the second. The third is blowing me away. I've still got about almost 100 to deal with that, so I'm trying to work backwards. And then I have tonight's live. But all because of you, I am here. Because of you. So I thank you all for being here to share your time with me, my time with you. So with that said, may God bless you. Keep you safe. Stay close to your family. I want you to be well and stay blessed with God's speed. I'm John Q. We will be back with a special presentation on Thursday for Orson and Orrin West, aka Classic and Sincere. Much love to you all. Good night.